On the news, court orders final forfeiture of money linked to suspended head of civil service, Winifred Oyoita. Lawyer accuses DSS of delaying Shore's relief. And Mugabe to be finally laid to rest in hometown this weekend. Thank you for joining us on News Now. I am Anetta Philip. A federal high court in Abuja has ordered the permanent forfeiture of funds allegedly linked to Winifred Oyoita, former head of the civil service. Justice Folashade Ogunbanjo Giwa gave the order while ruling on an application brought before it on Thursday. Oyoita is embroiled in a 3 billion naira fraud allegation which Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC is investigating. Following the investigation, President Muhammadu Buhari ordered Oyoita to proceed on an indefinite leave to allow the conclusion of the probe. During the court session, the EFCC, through its lawyer, reminded the court of an earlier order made on June 28th, granting an ex parte application for the interim forfeiture of the assets. He told the court that as of Thursday, no one had filed an application to challenge that interim order. Following this, Justice Ogunbanjo Giwa ordered the permanent forfeiture of the funds. Operatives of the Department of State Services, DSS, have been accused of frustrating efforts to service the court order for the release of Omoyele Shore. Ihembene Efyonge, lawyer who is a part of Shore's defense, made the claim on Friday. He says the court's bailiff had arrived at DSS headquarters in Abuja around 9:30 a.m. to serve the agency the court order, but was asked to return by 12 noon when the Director General of DSS, Yusuf Bichi, would be around. The bailiff reportedly returned to the DSS headquarters at 12:14 p.m. but was denied access. The DSS is, however, react to this development, and this is coming 24 hours after a federal high court ordered Shore's release from DSS detention on conditions that he deposits his travel documents with the court. The Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, has expressed support for Vice President Emir amid fraud allegations against him. Former spokesperson of the All Progressives Congress, Timi Frank, had alleged that Osinbajo received the sum of 90 billion naira from the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, to fund the 2019 presidential campaign. But the vice president, in a swift response, denies the allegations, saying he's ready to waive his immunity to be investigated. During a courtesy visit to Osinbajo at the presidential villa in Abuja, the national president of the Christian Association, Reverend Shupo Ayokunle, joined his voice to that of the vice president to reject the allegations. He promised to mobilize other Christians to support Osinbajo. And now to legislative matters. The Nigerian Senate has rolled out its agenda for the next 4 years in a bid to address challenges facing the nation. Reacting to the legislative agenda of the 9th Assembly, lawmakers noted that agricultural reforms and prioritizing national food security will go a long way in improving the economy. Other senators called for the passage of the Proceeds of Corruption Bill, while some advocated more actions by government to address the humanitarian crisis in the Northeast.
In the 60s, 50s, even early 70s, our economy was very buoyant. It wasn't like this. Even all the infrastructures that we did then was through the proceeds from agriculture. But all of a sudden, because of this advent of petroleum, we all become lazy.
It is good that we have this legislative agenda, but we need to remind ourselves again that what is most important is the political will. Again, I reiterate that philosophers have interpreted the world. What is left is to change it. And being here is a platform for each and every one of us to be able to seek to change, the destiny of this country through legislative intervention.
How can a country have over 1,000 something parastatals? How are we going to do it? This nice Senate should shut down on those parastatals because there are too many. It's 1,500, and you are complaining you have no money for development. Yes, they should go back to the ministries. They should go back to the ministries because they are over 1,000 something parastatals, and we are sitting here creating more. That is not how economy can work.
When God created men, he gave each one a talent. I don't think this Senate is harvesting talents. Even in the distribution of our committees, we have not seen where people have shown expertise to be able to handle those affairs. And when men are not given such opportunity, their output becomes very, very weak.
Today, CBN, is intervening in industry, intervening in agriculture, intervening. It is not the role of CBN to be intervening. What is the role of the banks that are sitting on the colossal sums of money and they are making so much profit? What are they? What is CBN doing about it? So I think the legislature, the 9th legislature, had to look at it, how on earth we are going to improve on the banks, taking a lot of risk, in the development of this country.
7 Nigerian soldiers have been reported killed, with 7 others missing following an ambush by insurgents in Borno State. Though the army is yet to officially confirm the incident, sources in the military say the soldiers attached to 109 Battalion came under attack while heading to Maiduguri from Gubio. The source further noted that soldiers from the battalion responded to a distress call from the company, but they appeared to have arrived too late to minimize the damage. Meanwhile, the Boko Haram sect has claimed responsibility for the attack, saying its fighters killed 14 soldiers in the ambush. This development follows an airstrike on an ISWAP training facility by the Air Force on Wednesday. Kaduna State Police Command has freed 300 men and boys who were chained in an Islamic center located in Rigasa, Igabi local government area of Kaduna State. The police say the rescued persons are from Burkina Faso, Mali, and other African countries. The men confessed that they were tortured, sexually abused, and were forced to daily recite the Holy Quran and pray. A victim who identified himself as Bello Hamza says he was tricked to the center 3 months ago by his family, and that he was supposed to be pursuing his master's degree at the University of Pretoria in South Africa. The operators of the center claim they only teach Islam, but Kaduna State Commissioner of Police Ali Janga said their investigation proved otherwise. Janga said some men and boys were chained and hanged to ceilings, but the proprietor has denied the claim. Now, in the wake of these developments, lawmakers at the Nigerian Senate have decried the deteriorating state of insecurity across states in the country. Speaking at a Senate function on Thursday, Senator Abdullahi Kabir raised alarm on the rates of kidnapping and banditry across Nigeria, especially in Katsina State. He said the state government is willing to grant the criminals amnesty if they agree to stop their activities, but said the military action will not be ruled out if they refuse dialogue.
The state government is trying their best because the stages. Maybe this one just could be a first stage. If, of course, it worked, good and fine. And I was with the governor when we went inside. If you see the conditions they gave us, that we should come to inside the bush, inside the forest, 50 kilometers off the road. In fact, just in the bush. We have to send an advance party to even cut the trees to go and meet this banditry inside the forest. So hopefully that this one will work. But of course, if it didn't work, as the governor used to say, it's fire for fire. Right-hand side, he said peace. And if this peace, we refuse to achieve it, then we go for the war. This is what we told them. So, but unfortunately, yes, of course, they will tell you yes. I could call, after that meeting with them, some of the kidnapped people were released. But again, unfortunately, the following week, again, they came inside some of the local government headquarters and picked some people. So you could see what is happening. The governor is trying his best to make sure that, of course, at least let's follow them maybe through the amnesty if it will work. But definitely if it doesn't work, we have to take them seriously.
A group based in Kano, the Renaissance Coalition, has alleged that there is a plan to dethrone the Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II. In a press statement on Thursday, spokesman for the group, Ibrahim Wayon, alleged that the Kano state government is plotting to replace Emir Mohammed Sanusi II with his Bichi counterpart, Nasiru Ado Bayero. The claim that the Kano state government was making the move despite a subsisting court ruling which ordered the maintenance of status quo pending conclusion of the matter before it. According to a statement, the coalition decided to be proactive because of the consequences of the alleged action of the government of the people of Kano State. Renaissance's coalition also urged the governor of Kano to desist from executing the alleged plot, and they also called on security agencies to prevent any events that might disrupt the peace of Kano State. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has recovered 3 ambulances and a 500 kVA transformer meant for constituency projects from Buruji Kashamu, a former senator who represented Ogun East. ICPC spokesperson Rashidat Okodoa said the items were part of the 2016 constituency projects which were to be distributed to Ogun East Senatorial District. She said the commission received intelligence about the presence of the items at the location from a concerned citizen who became aware of the commission's constituency project tracking group initiative. The transformer was meant for distribution to various communities of Ogun East Senatorial District and was procured at the cost of 3.6 million naira. The ambulances were procured at the cost of 6 million naira each and were meant to be supplied to healthcare centers in Ogun State, but they were found at his constituency project office in Ijabodi, Ogun State. The recovered items were seized and the vehicles moved to a police station. We'll take a break here and we'll be right back to bring you up to speed with news in business and foreign news. Please stay with us.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
You're welcome back, and it's now time for updates on business stories with Fidelia Aguncha. Hello, Fidelia.
Hi, Annetta.
So we see the federal government talking about the new national minimum wage. Please bring us updates on that.
Well, the federal government says it will reconstitute a new committee to begin fresh negotiations for the full implementation of the new national minimum wage of 30,000 naira. Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, announced this while hosting the leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC in Abuja. He, however, warned that the delay in the agreement for the full implementation of the new minimum wage may put the federal and state governments in a difficult position to pay because of the backlog that would arise. President Muhammadu Buhari in April signed the new minimum wage of 30,000 naira, but this agreement between the federal government and trade unions has stalled its implementation. Ahmed Ali, Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, says there is no definite end to the partial border closure. The Nigerian government has closed its borders since August to check various forms of smuggling, but diverse reactions trailed the government's decision, with many calling for the reopening of the border. Now, despite these reactions, the customs boss says the closure will last until the protocols on the movement of goods and persons as established by ECOWAS are strictly adhered to by neighboring West African countries. Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, has condemned the growing trend of indecent employment contract systems used by international oil companies in Nigeria. NUPENG, at its Central Working Committee meeting in Lagos, described the development as illegal, unfair, and inhuman. The national president of NUPENG, Prince Williams Akboreha, who read out the stand of the union, that the system will further impoverish workers in the oil and gas industry.
The CWC in section is calling on the federal government and other relevant authorities for the opting time to call to order multinational and indigenous oil and gas companies that are constantly exhibiting anti-union postures through refusal to allow unionization of contract workers, refusal to negotiate, refusal to recognize workers already organized, multiple fragmentation of contracts to frustrate the efforts of the union in organizing these workers. It is also includes treating labor relations issues with contempt and disdain to the extent of refusing implementation on rulings of IAPs whenever it goes against the wishes of the affected companies. It is regrettable to know that NAOC and its service contracts have refused to review the service contract condition of services 2012, hiding under the guise of litigation which has nothing to do with the union. No one should take the patience of the union for weakness or abandonment of our responsibility. We have waited this long so as not to give room for misinterpretation of our actions. We will not hesitate to take some decisive actions in the coming weeks if these situations are not immediately ameliorated. It's our belief too that with this agitation and from this resolution arising from the CWC, this issue will also be taken more seriously. It's our belief, and again, we might not, or we should not be pushed, to take further action on this matter, because we will if we are neglected as has been in the past.
It's World Tourism Day, and the Nigerian government has been charged to invest in this sector to boost job creation. The demand was made by stakeholders at an event organized by Jumia Travel to commemorate the day. Adeshewa Odushoga has more in this next report.
Tourism has been identified as a major contributor to the development of many nations, and Nigeria has been charged to tow this path. With an unemployment rate of 23%, the theme for the 2019 World Tourism Day, Tourism and Jobs, A Better Future for All, has been used as the pointer to redirect focus on the sector in Nigeria.
We have a national tourism master plan that was done by UNWTO during Obasanjo's time. It's still sitting in the archives of the dinosaurs. It's sitting down there, and this national master plan, everything we're all talking about here today to grow the sector is in that document. Everything we're talking about is in that document. What is going to move the sector forward? It's all in that document. It has been done. But it's because we are a merchandise-driven economy. Buy and sell.
Before you can say you want to create job opportunity, first of all, people need to have a strategic focus. So like at the WTTC, I used to work on a research project saying, how do we have human capital development over the next 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 years? So when Asia was trying to develop its tourism industry, when China was trying to do its tourism industry, when Thailand, they brought a lot of people to come to Surrey to understand tourism, right? Before they can go back to their country. So the answer to your question is that there are opportunities, but I think these opportunities have to be from the senior level, i.e. the level that we can actually then have strategy and implementation for location-focused destination development. But we don't have that now.
One of the speakers who have since promoted Nigeria's tourist centers in the world's marketplace reviews the challenges in surviving in a country which doesn't have Ministry of Tourism.
Living in the UK, you saw things that were free, that people were making money out of. You look at the iconic red phone booths, people stand and take pictures with the phone booths. It's just stupidity. But this is what some people paid for. People want to get on the bendy buses. We have Molwe. But would you want to be in a Molwe? No. But you go abroad, you get on top of a bendy bus, and you'll be snapping pictures away. We have Keke Napem, which has obviously become like a menace in Lagos. But in some other countries, those are tourist stuff. People go on Keke Napem just for sightseeing. And when I started tour to Nigeria, I knew it was going to be a big challenge. Even registering the name Nigeria, I know I'm not going to sell that brand to anybody.
If you look at the Nigerian system, you're likely to have a very high passenger travel because of the business, tourism, and all of that, because of the oil sector, basically, not because people are coming to experience our destinations. So if you look at that margin, it's most likely that the destination receipt it's little or nothing compared to the entire figure that you have.
When you were talking about fabrics, you have amazing fabrics that you can do almost everything. From a chair, from a frame, from a wallet. It's such a rich country. But I think we still, and I say we, being part of Nigeria, we are not taking that seriously. So we have young people now that are being exposed to other countries, to other places now. Phones are giving us very close to what it's outside, but they still don't know the places.
Africa is the second fastest growing tourism region in the world, and this is according to the figures in Jomia's 2019 hospitality report. The sector has contributed 8.5% to the continent's GDP, creating about 1.2 million jobs in Nigeria. The stakeholders in this sector have now urged the government to invest in the tourism sector. Adeshewa Dushoga, TV.
We'll now look at activities on the NSC after this break. Don't go away. Nigeria's equities market is closing the week positive despite a drop in activity level that pushed key market indices down to 0.35% from the 1.09% seen on Thursday. Now, this rise translates to a boost of more than 80 basis points in the all-share index right here and a 47 billion naira rise in the market capitalization. With a massive 6.43% surge in the oil and gas index, it is not surprising to see Seplat right here and Total on the gainers chart. Both equities are posting a combined growth of 60 naira 6 kobo. Nestle sits fourth on the chart with a 0.6% surge in value. Well, let's now flip to the other side. MTN Nigeria records its third drop for the week, shedding 2 naira in value. It was also a bad day for the industrial goods index, with leading equities like Cement Company of Northern Nigeria and Dangote Cement dropping by almost 3 naira. While on the summary table right here, the value of trade is rising despite a drop in volume, and that's when compared to what was posted on Thursday. Now, outside Nigeria, which is the foreign scene, we can see that the FTSE neared a 2-month high as an ailing pound bolstered investors' interest on the market. Now, the exact opposite is the situation in the United States, whose market is falling in the wake of reports that the U.S. is considering banning portfolio flows into China. And as expected, that report also affected activities in Asia, with the Nikkei dropping by 0.77%. Well, that's it from the world of business. It's back to Annetta.
Thanks for that update, Fidelia. And on the foreign scene, the body of former Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe has been moved to his hometown ahead of burial expected this weekend. This follows weeks of wrangling between the government and his family over his final resting place. The Mugabes had initially kicked against the government plan to bury the former leader at the National Heroes Acre, but eventually consented. In a twist of events, the Information Ministry said in a statement on Thursday that the government was now cooperating with Mugabe's family, who wanted him buried in the Vimba district to the west of the capital, Harare. The government said the charge was in line with the policy to respect the wishes of the families of the deceased. In sports, Nigeria's under-23 Eagles will now know their group opponents for the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations on Wednesday, October 2nd. This is coming after the Confederation of African Football announced their new dates for the draw, which was supposed to take place on October the 3rd. This is coming after the Confederation of African Football announced their new dates for the draw, which was supposed to take place on October 3rd. The draw will take place at the Haramlek Palace inside the historical Montaza Complex, Alexandria. Meanwhile, the representatives of the qualified teams are expected to be in attendance for the events, which will set the tone for the final tournament, scheduled for November 8th to 22nd. That's all from here on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. Many thanks for watching, and bye for now.